Hi guys, I'm back in my. I'm sweating like a pig, as you can see. It's very warm, and I'm just back from just. I interviewed a director, the director of Sinfin. I'm still here in the Transylvania at the Transilvania Film Festival, one of the last days of the festival, and I'm still in Cluj. And yeah, I just came back and I decided to record a video. This is about one of the films that I've seen here, and it's called I Hope You Die Next Time, and there's a smiley face at the end of it. There's like a smile. So I guess you pronounce it I Hope You Die Next Time. It's by Mihály Schwechtje. Hopefully I'm saying his name right. I know that I'm not, but it's really complicated to say. And it's a Hungarian film. Now, check it out. You know, instead of creating viral content, I'm talking about contemporary Hungarian cinema on YouTube. How alternative am I? And I've got a guitarlele. I'm practically a hipster. So, yeah, the film. So I wanted to talk about this film because I want to make a particular point, and hopefully this won't be video that's too long. So this film could be considered a drama or a psychological thriller, and it's split into two parts. And the first part is about. It looks at the story from the perspective of the victim, and the second part looks at the story from the perspective of the bully. The protagonists of the film are teenagers, and the theme of the movie is cyberbullying in particular. So it's a very recent and contemporary topic, and basically, what's the definition for cyberbully? I never really thought of it, but I guess it's just bullying, but using internet, applications or social media in particular. So. The victim is a young girl who is in love with her teacher, but then when her teacher leaves, she's heartbroken and sad and can't stop thinking about it. But then she gets an email from her teacher, who starts a communication with her, and they kind of start talking, and he sort of leads her on, even though he's in London and he's married and he's got this new life. This little girl in Hungary she communicates with starts to really fall in love with him. And then in the second part, and I don't know how much of this I can give away, we look at the bully. The bully, if we can actually, I guess he is a bully, but he's a downright abuser. He's a I don't know if I can say it. But anyways, a situation arises from that. And without saying anything else about the plot, now I'm going to try and make some sense of the point that I was going to make. Obviously, this film looks at the dangers of being on social media and how vulnerable it makes us and how exposed it leaves us and how we're constantly connected. So we're always vulnerable, and we're always doing stuff that could be used against us at any time. We've seen it. We see countless examples of it in this day and age, and chances are we have either been a victim of cyberbullying ourselves, or we certainly know someone who has been a victim of cyberbullying, and it's just a thing of today, But my opinion on that, by the way, is that cyberbullying is just a term, but really it's just because bullying has always existed since the beginning of mankind or womankind. Since it's always existed, then what we've done is just adapt these tools to bully. So, even though we see different types of bullying, the essential core aspect of the bullying itself is timeless. So it's just been repeated time and time again. It's kind of an Émile Zola naturalism sort of a concept, and yeah. But that was it. So the reason why I brought this up wasn't because, as usual, this is not a film review, so I'm not actually going to review the film itself. But I will say that it's an intense watch. I'm right at the corner of the screen, by the way. I'm gonna end the video just like this. Maybe I'll do the rest of the video like this, so you can look at the floral wallpaper. So the point I was gonna make is that while I was watching the film, I kept thinking of. I'm gonna come back. I kept thinking of the term morality play. Do you guys know what a morality play is? Yeah, you do. But I know you do because you're smart. But anyways, just for the sake of keep making this video cohesive and actually making a structured point. I'm going to read the definition from Google. The screen is pretty far, but I can make it out because I got good eyesight. A morality play is a kind of allegorical drama having personified abstract qualities as the main characters and presenting a lesson about good conduct and character. So, and they do make a point that it was particularly popular in the 15th century and early 16th century. But actually, you know, morality play is a term that has been used time and time again in cinema, and particularly more referring to the early cinema. And one filmmaker who was particularly, I said particularly a lot, but anyways, go with me, particularly prominent in the art of making morality plays. The term is still used despite the fact that they are films, but anyways, morality plays. It was D.W. Griffith. Obviously, you know, many of his works are morally dubious, although some of them are particularly, are particularly, I said it again. Some of them are quite sound, morally sound, but usually they're the ones that tend to be quite obvious, you know. He was pretty prominent in making morality plays. Most, if not all, of his films are morality plays, you know. Even those that are immoral by anyone's standards, especially in contemporary times, were moral from his point of view. So he was trying to make a point about, you know, these are the values and these are the values that you should cherish and celebrate. Because really, essentially, what Schwechtje, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, is doing with this film is he's using the formula of the morality play. Despite this being a thriller, whatever it is, he's still trying to show people, reveal to people the dangers of the internet and just that it's a problem, and that essentially by the end we realize that being on social media is really making things a little worse for us, or well, a lot worse from the movie itself, and that we should really, really, really be careful about what we do. And that's a very traditional. What was very interesting about it is that despite the fact that it talks about the internet and all of these things that are very modern and that have been around, when we look back, not such a long time. It's still a film that uses very, very traditional structure and just a very traditional overall sense of being, sense of existing, sense of making art, and there is some innovative elements to it, like the fact that the film is split into two parts. Well, it's actually three parts. There's two parts. The first two parts is seen from the perspective of the victim, and the second part is seen from the perspective of the bully. And the third part is when it all comes together. So, yeah. I mean, that's the point I wanted to make, is that, storytelling in general, I guess, has always followed the same traditional rules. And morality plays, I guess, are very, very prominent. It's not, I made an example of this film, but I can think of, most films, when we think about it, are morality plays. I guess, if they weren't promoting sound values, then they would be frowned upon. But there are some films that kind of blur the lines, and they are the ones that tend to be, the most interesting because they don't, they're not obvious to read, and they're interesting in that sense. But even the ones that are traditional, that are using traditional means, can find a way to be interesting and intense and just creative and a nice showcase for the art of cinema. And I Hope You Die Next Time, with a smiley face, is I think one of those examples. And it's nice to kind of see the tradition live on. It's all about, at the end of the day, the stories that are told in any novel, or especially in films, there aren't that many narratives. Usually it's, you could narrow down the bare bones of stories in films to maybe 5 or 6 formulas. And it's not even an exaggeration, But I feel like that's true in all of the narrative arts. The bare bones of the stories, there aren't that many of them, and it's just about the variations, even when we don't think about the story itself, it's, songs and notes, there's only such a limited amount of notes that you can play, but it's all about the creativity that you put it, the spin that you can put into the scales. That's what really it is. That's what it all is. So yeah, that's the point that I kind of wanted to make. It's quite a simple point, I know, but I guess one of the things that I'd like to do with my videos is to have a little fun with them, but also to make some points that can be kind of taken for granted, but actually offer them put them out there, you know, in a more accessible medium, you know, like video, the video medium. I sound like I don't know. I sound old. Anyways, I am old. But anyways, I'm older than time itself. Okay, so that was the point that I wanted to make, and that's all the points that I want to make for this video. Until next time, I've kind of dried a little bit, so that's cool. Check out the interviews that I've done from the Transilvania International Film Festival for Fred.fm, and yeah, keep an eye out for this channel. Bye bye. Keep an eye out on this channel, not for this channel. Long takes.